Daniel Jeremiah here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, DJ?
I'm doing great, Rich. I just want to know if, with Mike not being there, if we will still have the same assortment of snacks and goodies up there. In the booth.
Mayock was, and this is, I don't think it's ever been put on the air. He was addicted to Mike and Ike's. So are you a Mike and Ike person as well, DJ?
You know what? I actually would be more of a Junior Mint guy, and that'll open up so many avenues for a Seinfeld conversation. So I think that's the way we're going to go.
It's very refreshing.
By the way, that would be the first Seinfeld conversation I ever have in that booth, because if it wasn't Stripes or if it wasn't Sugar Hill Gang, Mayock did not understand it, as you know, DJ. So
play the hits, though. Play the hits.
He did. I look forward to. By the way, I just look forward to all of it, and I guess we can have our first draft conversation right now. And I'm sure we're going to have it. We might not have much more clarity between now and the time that Kyler Murray looks like he's going to be at the Combine. So let's just start with this. Is Kyler Murray first-round draft pick worthy for a kid that may or may not, or we're expected to hear his name thrown into the NFL draft ring as an eligible player by this weekend?
Well, look, if you went back 5 years ago and asked me if a 5'9" quarterback would not only would he get drafted would be probably a stretch. A first round pick, people would it would have been laughter. But it's different. It's different right now, and the way the league has gone, and with his unique skill set, absolutely, I think somebody will do it. He's not for everybody. There's going to be some people that will have an issue with the height more than anything else, but he is electric in terms of his athleticism and arm strength. His arm strength is off the charts. We've seen with Baker Mayfield just how strong his arm was. We knew it was good, Rich, but he's got one of the better arms in the NFL. This kid is every bit the same arm strength. Now, the difference is the reason why I would say Baker, he's not Baker Mayfield. He's not as accurate. Just the pinpoint accuracy that we've seen from Baker Mayfield at Oklahoma, and we saw it in the NFL. This is not the same level of accuracy, and don't send me the completion percentage and all that, because that has nothing to do with it. I'm just talking about ball placement. That's where he's a little bit off. But yeah, somebody will do it. Absolutely, somebody will do it.
So someone will do it. What about Arizona being one to do it? I'm sure you saw that video that's clanking around from the end of October, when at the time Texas Tech head coach Cliff Kingsbury talking up Kyler Murray, saying, I would take him with the first overall pick if I could. And now look who really can do that, Daniel. What do you think?
I'd be shocked if it happened. A couple different thoughts on it. Number one, if they fully believed in Cliff Kingsbury and really went all in with Cliff Kingsbury, don't you think that they would give him the freedom to hire everybody that he wants to hire? And now you kind of hear that that's being run a little bit from the front office side in terms of leaning on the front office in terms of who they're going to bring in as assistant coaches. But yet now you're going to give him the veto power to say out with Josh Rosen and we're going to bring in my guy. I just think that's given an awful lot of power to Cliff Kingsbury. I just don't see that happening. But the other side of it is you got to know Josh through the draft process. I got to know him a little bit. Don't they need to come out in the next 24 hours and refute this? I mean, because Schefter's a big name, and I know he was just kind of floating it out there. But he is a very respected name, and for that thought to even be out there in the universe, if I'm Josh Rosen, I'm sitting here saying they better come out in the next 24 hours and say Josh is our guy, or I'm going to be pretty upset.
I don't blame you, DJ, at all. And you're referring to what Adam said on ESPN this morning, saying that he thought it was not out of the realm, or these are quarterbacks are commodities, is the way that he put it. Cliff Kingsbury was on Good Morning Football today and didn't flat out come out and say, yeah, Josh is our guy. He did talk him up about all of his abilities. I don't think I'm missing anything here, DJ.
Yeah, no, to me, it's just as long as that's floating out there, I don't think that's going to be that's going to make for an interesting launch to the Josh Rosen Cliff Kingsbury relationship. If they don't come out there and say, look, this is crazy. We took this kid in the first round last year. We totally believe in his ability, and we're moving forward with him. Any thought to the contrary is crazy. And our focus is on, with this first pick, whether we select here or whether we trade out, is to surround Josh Rosen with the support he needs for us to win.
And then, so while we're on the subject of rookie quarterbacks and new head coaches that are going to be attached to their hip, and or veteran quarterbacks that are attached to new coaching hips, Bruce Arians in Tampa, Cliff Kingsbury in Arizona, assumedly with Josh Rosen, Adam Gase now with Sam Bradford, Matt LaFleur now with Aaron Rodgers. And I'm going to just take Freddie Kitchens out of the mix right here, because obviously he's been with Baker and we've seen what it looks like. Which one do you think has the best opportunity to succeed in the manner in which management envisions it through the interview process?
I actually think LaFleur and Rodgers is going to be the best marriage. He's going to run. It's that Shanahan scheme that he runs. You know, and throw out what you saw in Tennessee, because they just kind of had to do what they had to do there. But that is it's joked about the connection to Sean McVay. Well, Sean McVay comes from the Shanahan tree. And think about the year that Matt Ryan had under Kyle Shanahan. Now take that same offensive approach and put Aaron Rodgers in the role of Matt Ryan. I mean, I don't see how Aaron Rodgers doesn't just post ridiculous numbers in that system. So I think that is a really good marriage. And I actually think probably the second one, I don't know if you could have found a better spot or a better human being to pair with Jameis Winston than what they were able to find in Bruce Arians. He is like the perfect guy to get out of Jameis Winston what you need to get out of him.
Why is
he
that?
Has just enough of Jimbo Fisher in him. I mean, think about kind of stylistically, Jimbo Fisher's personality and kind of the swagger that Jimbo Fisher has. That's BA. I mean, that's what Arians brings to the table. I think he's going to infuse Jameis Winston with a lot of confidence. He's going to believe in him. And I think we'll see the best of Jameis Winston. I really do.
Now, obviously, I meant Sam Darnold, not Sam Bradford. That would be a heck of a pairing for the Jets right now. Gase and Darnold.
I'm just waiting to see where Bradford gets his next.
No, I know.
Never count him out. Never count him out, Rich.
What do you think of the Gase hire? Peyton Manning pound the table for him as a quarterback whisperer for Darnold. What do you think of that pairing?
Well, I think it's good. I mean, I'm you know me. I'm all in on Sam Darnold. I was before the draft last year. I thought once he came back from injury and you watched that team as close as any, I thought you got a glimpse of what he can be. He's a special talent. Gase, I think, is going to be able to get it out of him. Their biggest thing, again, as you know, Rich, they've got to get some people around him. So that it's not going to matter who's coaching that team unless they go out and get some help up front and get him some more help to throw the football to. So I think that's got a chance to really work. Adam Gase he's gotten a lot out of Peyton Manning. He got a lot out of Jay Cutler early on down there in Miami. He had Tannehill playing really well. And then injuries just kind of beset that team. I mean, I'd kind of throw out the season last year for the Dolphins. They weren't very good to start with, and then all the injuries just kind of crushed them.
Daniel Jeremiah here on the Rich Eisen Show. All right, let's remove your NFL Network former scout draft analyst hat and put on the lid that you wear with Matt Money Smith in the local radio booth for the Los Angeles Chargers, seeing the Chargers as you have. The matchup that you like on behalf of the Chargers going to New England is what?
I think they match up extremely well with the Patriots. And when you look kind of across the board, the challenge is going to be the Patriots are going to come out and try and jam it down their throats. But if they can get in pass rush situations with Tom Brady and what they've proven what they can do with Bosa and Ingram sliding in, and they have Chenna Nwosu outside and Isaac Rochelle, I think they're situated. You go back to the Super Bowls that they struggle with. The games with the Giants. To me, inside pressure is what gets the Patriots, and I think what the Chargers have done with Gus Bradley kicking those two guys inside. I think those are matchups that heavily favor the Chargers. They got to get to third down, so they got to find a way whether or not they're going to play the four safeties again or whether they throw some linebackers out there. They've got to find a way to get the Patriots in 3rd and 5+. If they do, I really like the Chargers matchups there. And then on the other side of the ball, Rivers, people have kind of crushed Rivers that he hadn't played his best ball coming down the stretch, Rich. But, man, the defenses with the 2 games in Baltimore and then the pass rush for the Broncos, and that's what kind of gave him fits. I don't think the Patriots are going to be able to generate that type of heat on Phillip Rivers, and I think they'll have some opportunities down the field.
Stephen A. Smith just told me Hunter Henry's active for this game, Daniel.
Heck of a year, man. He's been awesome.
I know. He's been terrific. And so, in all seriousness, what do you think he can bring to the table Sunday?
Well, the biggest thing is speed. He runs so much better than what they have right now with Antonio Gates and Virgil Green. And Virgil Green's been kind of an unsung hero with the job he does in the run game. He's outstanding as a blocker, and Antonio's playing his best football in terms of getting open and making plays down the stretch. But neither of those guys are really going to be able to stretch the seam and really, really run and stretch things out. Hunter Henry can give you that. Now, I don't know how much he's going to play, if it's 5 plays, 10 plays, 20 plays. I know Bosa, when he was coming off that long layoff, they kind of targeted 20 plays, and I think he ended up playing 32 plays in that first game. So, what the target is, and I think that'll be adjusted based on how he feels. But I'm anticipating maybe about 20 snaps.
Well, the Chargers have won games in 4 different time zones, and the only game that they've lost outside of their home stadium is here in Los Angeles, DJ. That said, it looks like high 29, low 17, coldest game of the year for the Chargers. That affects them how, do you think?
They've been fortunate all year. I mean, this is a team that went to London and got good weather. I think it rained when you came the week after. But it was nice weather in London, nice weather in Cleveland, nice weather in Kansas City and Pittsburgh and Seattle. It didn't rain. I mean, they just had luck all over the place with weather. Cold is fine. I think as long as it's not really wet, I don't think it'll have too big of an impact. I think they'll be okay with the weather.
Okay, and self-scout, the Chargers can be beaten by the Patriots. How? What do you think Anthony Lynn and that staff, Wisenhunt and Gus Bradley, are huddled up thinking about right now?
No, to me, this game is going to be won or lost based off what the Patriots do in the red zone. The Patriots are a death by a million paper cuts offense. Run, underneath throws. I don't think the ball is going to sail over the Chargers' head, which pushes all the importance on can you get stops in the red zone. If Tom Brady can get Gronk going down there in the red zone and they're scoring touchdowns instead of field goals, the Patriots will win. Chargers have been pretty good in the red zone. That'll need to continue if they're going to sneak out of there with a win. Okay.
The other games this weekend, that's our poll question, right, Chris, today? Yeah, we haven't asked it yet. Ask it of Daniel Jeremiah. Go for it.
Yeah, DJ, who has the best chance of an upset this weekend? Chargers, Colts, Cowboys, Eagles.
Yeah, which road team's got the best divisional chance, do you think?
I'll work backwards. I'll say the Eagles have the biggest challenge. That's going to be a tough one. I don't think they can pull that one off. I think it would be between either the Cowboys or the Colts. And I'll probably say the Cowboys would have the best shot. Just, again, styles make fights, and I think their defense can match up pretty well with this Rams offense.
Yeah, you took the Chargers out of the equation there. What do you mean by styles make fights for that game, Cowboys at Rams?
Well, to me, I just think with what the Rams are able to do to so many teams is they can get to the perimeter. They can get to the perimeter with Gurley in the run game. They can get to the perimeter with those fly sweeps. The ball gets out, and they stress you to be able to run inside out. And the Cowboys are equipped to do that with those 2 linebackers, with Smith and Vander Esch. They fly to the perimeter. So I think that works in their favor. And what works in the Colts' favor, do you think? I think that's going to be a shootout. I mean, I don't know that I'm any kind of a hot take there, but I mean, I had to look at that. And I think both these teams are going to score a bunch. I think the Colts have a legit shot just because they're working against a defense that's a little more vulnerable. But then the other side of it, you've got having been around Coach Reed with an extra week. Those numbers are pretty darn impressive. So that's a pick 'em. That's a pick 'em to me. But it's we don't do the gambling thing, but lots of points.
Well, I'd be remiss if I let you go without asking you our poll question that we asked coming off of the national championship game, just to mix again college and the pros. We asked this poll question, DJ, and I'd love to get your thoughts on it. If you had to buy a stock in a quarterback over the next 10 years, your choices are Trevor Lawrence, Tua Tagovailoa, or any of the drafted quarterbacks in this past year's draft class in 2018. You would choose which answer?
Well, I'm going to be true to it, and I'll get grief for it, but I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm going to say your guy with the Jets. I really believe in Sam Darnold. He's young, man. He is really young. But I haven't seen – I saw that Trevor Lawrence up at a high school camp up at the opening up in, 2 years ago up in Oregon. and he is pretty special now. I mean, he is really good. So I'd like to be able to split my stock if I could.
Was that an answer?
Not an option.
Stock?
Not an option, DJ.
No.
I'll go Darnold. Darnold is my one, and then my 1A is that beautiful flowing mane down there in Clemson.
All right, I got to just ask one more time here. I mean, why Darnold? I mean, what have you seen? Certainly from this past year, we saw that opening night and Monday Night Football when it was so insane how well he was playing. You texted me or called me because you wanted to get a contact high from a Jet fan. That was one of my favorite calls of the entire playing season, DJ. But we also saw that he got banged up. He did come back in and make some very nice throws in some difficult spots in some games that didn't really mean anything in the standings. What do you see for the future out of him then?
I think the thing that would get me most excited about Sam Darnold was look what that offense looked like without him. I mean, they had nothing, and he made them competitive. He's mentally and physically tough. I don't think anybody can dispute that watching him if you watched him this year. He can make every throw, and then his improvisational skills, I think, are what set him apart and make him pretty special. Now, the challenge is with Mike McCagnon, they got to go get the kid some help. But I believe in him. I believe in him in a big way.
All right, DJ, safe travels to New England and back, and we'll chat down the line. We'll chat down the line about a Chargers team that has just been looking terrific.
Last thing, Rich.
Yes.
I think it was a TV rejoin, but you were listening off your Adam Gase headline thing.
Yes.
I wrote down 2 90s references. After a big win, Gase in your face. And then also after a big Sam Darnold game, we could play a little Ace of Gase.
Ace of Gase.
That is tremendous.
I like that one.
I saw the sign, Rich.
And he saw the signs. Yeah, exactly.
Is a great back page headline. Ace of Gase is really something we need to just put a pin in that one. That's fantastic. Good job, DJ. Thanks for the call.
All right, see you, bud.
You got it. Ace of Gase.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.